Howdy, folks. What's up? We are live. It's a two-man show tonight. Me and G Money
Tag teaming.
back again, boys. So it's kind of funny because we were talking about before we started doing the. We have a little WrestleManiacs chat going on Facebook where the guys let us know who's going to join in and all that. And about everybody except for us, so we're the hardcores. Everybody else has bowed out of this show.
I think it was putting people to sleep. I think that was happening.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like overall, like the show totally felt like an episode of Monday Night Raw, man. I mean, I know we say this every time, it seems like, but I think where the roster is, like all these guys are so injured, like a lot of the talent's so injured, they don't have a whole lot to. It doesn't seem like they have a whole lot to do. I mean, you have the same. You have the Usos and Goldust and Stardust. Seems like it's just the same people, right? Orton and Cena for the 9,000th time. So,
yep. Well, I mean, that's it. Well, what I say is it's like you've got so much other talent there, like, Ziggler, Cesaro, like, why are they not at the top of that card? I was real happy to see that what main evented tonight, but again, you're right, it was another episode of Raw with a cage added. I mean, that's really it, and that's pretty sad that, that's how things have been the last couple months, and, I don't really mind the fact that Brock isn't always there as the champion because it makes me feel like back in the day where you didn't always see the champion on, it felt special, but they also had guys that could kind of carry that torch, and they have the guys, they're just not doing anything with them right now. I don't know why everybody's in like a holding pattern. It doesn't make much sense.
No. And the thing is, I was excited about the main event, and we'll talk about all the matches on the show and where they put those guys because they had the faith to put those guys last, which I think they totally should have done. I mean, they made the right move because Cena and Orton, I mean, that's just done to death, man. I mean, I think they placed that match the perfect location on the card.
Right. Why did you so question, what made you excited about that match being last with Ambrose and Rollins? Like from a fan's point of view, like why were you like, all right, that's good?
I was thinking that they had something really special planned for that match. Which the match was okay. I thought it was a good match, but I mean the ending, we'll talk about that, is bizarre. Right. And it shouldn't have been the ending of a pay-per-view match. They should have done that the following night or something. But the match was good. It was fun. They had some good spots in it and stuff. And I love, the fact that they started it on top of the cage in a way. It was just, kind of spontaneous, crazy. But it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
I don't want to.
No, I totally agree. I mean, for me, the reason was I was happy because, so you got your two young guys closing the show. I mean, that's a huge thing for them to be at the top. They should have been because they're kind of holding it down right now besides Cena and Orton because we've already seen that. But, it was such a great feud, and it seems like such a perfect way to end that feud, to close that chapter, and I feel like it didn't get closed at all. So that's where I think the disappointment was for me, is that it was such a hot feud and it didn't really end, in the right way or whatever. It's just that there was no end to that story now, and I think that story is going to be almost kind of just passed by for a little while now.
Yeah, and where does Seth Rollins even go?
I think he's probably going to do a program with Orton, and that sucks. That's not really what anybody wants to see.
No, nobody should want to work with Orton because that means you're just kind of, Yeah,
it's just holding patterns for what Reigns to come back, which is not really an exciting thing, anyways.
Although I'm noticing that due to I guess all the vines and stuff that's out, that Orton is doing the RKO out of nowhere. They're seeming to throwing that out there, and I think they should totally run with that. because at this stage of the game, Randy Orton, you've done every freaking thing you can do with Randy Orton. Mm-hmm. What else is there to do? So go ahead, go with it, you know.
Yeah, they have no choice. I think that's the best case scenario right now. And you know what? If it works, great. If it gets old and stale real quick, then whatever. Get them to do something for a little while.
Yeah, it probably will get stale eventually, but hey, stuff like that, when it gets popular to that degree, you've got to go with it, you know. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started with the show. Opening match. I didn't watch. Did you watch any of the pre-show? I kind of learned my lesson last month.
I just caught the end of it, so I saw the match of the pre-show. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw I turned it on there was 5 minutes left in the pre-show, and the match just started. It was Mark Henry versus Bo Dallas in a squash match, which was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did catch the tail end of that too, but yeah, I think they had some sort of Miz TV segment or something as well, which, like I said, I didn't really check any of it out, but it is what it is, I guess. So first match actually on the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, or I guess I don't know what you'd call it. I guess it's a pay-per-view still. Yeah. Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro, 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental title. Now, this was a really good match. It was a quick match. Mm-hmm. I'm still not sure exactly who Cesaro has pissed off, because I cannot recall a clean sweep, I guess as though he was calling it, in one of these matches ever before. No,
I said the same thing. I had people over here, we were watching it, and I said, I've never seen a clean sweep. And, again, I was excited. I didn't even know this was a 2 out of 3 falls match, so when I heard that, I actually kind of was like, all right, this is going to be awesome. And, it was a good match, but it should have been a lot better of a match. It should have been more edge of your seat, one more fall left, who's the guy that's going to go over. I really think they dropped the ball here with Cesaro. This would have been a prime opportunity for them to give him the ball and just run with it. I mean, maybe they will, but not the way they ended it. I would push him right now to the moon, and hopefully, I would set him up to be so unstoppable for a little while, and maybe just give Brock an opponent for the Rumble and have it Cesaro. I mean, just to hold some time, but also to build up him as a top guy. They have no top guys now. It's Ambrose, Rollins, Orton, I guess, and Cena, and now we'll get into the other one later, but it's not enough. It's not enough at all. You can't be waiting back for Reigns to get back, because he's just going to get booed when he comes back anyways. So I don't know what the problem is with Cesaro, and I also think that Ziggler needs to be, higher up on that card. I mean, he's pretty much like the only legit champion on Raw every week. He should be up there. He should be up there.
Yeah, I'm confused though. I mean, I know what Ziggler did. I think he was saying some smart ass shit on Twitter or something, and that got him in hot water. What in the hell did Cesaro do? Because it seemed like after WrestleMania, they were going to push him to the moon, and then it just stopped.
I don't know. I've read that Triple H is high on him. He's a real good friend of Cena, which then therefore he was going to get pushed. And for some reason McMahon doesn't really see it, so he gets brought back down, and then they try to bring him up a little bit, and then he gets pulled back down. I don't know what the deal is on that, but him and Ziggler are the 2 best talents they have that aren't getting the proper push, especially Cesaro, considering right. I don't know how old he is, but they need to utilize him now.
Yeah, I think he's 33, 34, around that age. So yeah. He's been wrestling a while. So I think he's the total package, man. I mean, he's a good talker too. He's got that charisma about him, and definitely the in-ring ability, and just that freak strength that he has too. It's just I think he's something different. He's something that they should definitely utilize more. But like I said, maybe McMahon, like you were saying, just doesn't see it, and would rather push Randy Orton.
I mean, I don't understand what he doesn't see. He's a big dude. He's got a good look. I mean, when he comes out with that towel on and the robe, he looks badass. I mean, he brought out the swing again tonight, which to me, again, I was like, okay, this is Cesaro's big push. He finally did the swing. This is going to be good. And then he just, nothing happened with that. And to get clean swept like that, I mean, where does he go now from here? Back to the same old shit where he wins battle royals to get title shots and then blows it? I don't know where this goes with him.
I don't either, unless they maybe, I'm sure most of these matches will probably have a rematch tomorrow night on Raw, so maybe we'll find out exactly where they go from here. But yeah, Ziggler, I mean, they had some good spots in the match. It was a brief match, didn't last long. Ziggler won the first 2 falls, which was, like I said, I'd never seen that. I can never recall that before. I'm sure it's probably happened at some other point, but
yeah, I don't remember it. But it was a good match. Those are the two guys that need to be higher on the card in the whole WWE right now. Those 2 guys. I mean, they can work with anybody. They both have good looks. I mean, they're both good on the mic, but they never have a chance. So to really utilize it. So we'll see.
So yeah, after that match, they have like a little brief backstage segment with Triple H, Kane, Stephanie, and Orton, and it's kind of setting up. They're, like you were mentioning before, Orton and the Seth Rollins, I guess, feud that's probably upon us. And, just a lot of back and forth stuff, very similar to the stuff we see on Monday Night Raw, like we were saying. The next match after that one, unfortunately for us, was the Nikki Bella versus Brie Bella. Loser is the assistant to the winner for 30 days. Sounded like something straight out of Monday Nitro back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Something they would do. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, my God. This leads to countless bullshit on, Monday Night Raw and probably on SmackDown as well.
Backstage segments and
tons and tons of segments of this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, we already got some tonight with it, and it was stupid. I don't know if I haven't been paying attention, but I didn't even know that was a stipulation until tonight.
I think they just announced it tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
The thing is, they did a little better than I thought they were going to do in ring. Personally, I thought it was stupid, but they did a little better than I was expecting. Especially even, I mean, they both did all right. Like, Brie did that suicide dive where I thought she broke her nose. It was good to look at, but again, it was just when you spend more time on the Bellas than you do, someone like Paige, then it doesn't matter to me. It's a needless story where they can put more effort into, people that matter.
Do you think it's maybe they're trying to do a lot of this stuff for the Total Divas show? I mean, I was trying to just rack my brain and figure out what is the point of doing all this shit with the Bellas. Like, I'm guessing they're trying to get that audience from, because I think overall it's a different audience that's watching that Divas show.
Right.
And, trying to maybe tap into that market or something. I have no clue, really.
Well, it is, but the problem is what you're probably exactly right. The problem is to have on-air fake storylines put on a reality show is ridiculous. Like, it's taking 2 worlds and bringing them together, and it's like basically the Total Divas is just as fake as Raw at this point. I mean, how can you have storylines mixed in with supposed real life, which they're doing, because I don't know if you watch it, but like Tyson Kidd and Natty are going through like a divorce possibility, and he acts like he acts on NXT, like he's the same character on Total Divas, and it's like, that's not real, and that's what's weird about this. It's everything is they're trying to cross it, and it's like 2 worlds that don't need to be crossed over. So I don't know how they're going to bring this Bella thing up.
Yeah, and the thing about the Divas matches too, and lately I've noticed on the pay-per-views that they are not only doing the regular Divas title match, they're also doing some sort of Bella's match as well. So there's 2 Divas matches, and man, like, that just kills the crowd too. Like, those matches, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but it almost sounded like it was an empty arena match or something.
Yeah. And when they did chant, they chanted for JBL, and that kind of sucks. I feel bad in a sense. It's pretty disrespectful to people in the ring to be chanting JBL, but again, the crowd they don't care about the Bella matches because, you know, they're not good workers. You know, they're not, they try, but, you know, they're into Paige, they're into AJ, they'd be into Natalia, you know, if she ever got a real shot, and, you know, they'd be into Charlotte when she gets up here, but, you know, Bella's, nah.
Yeah, and I guess they were chanting for JBL because they were in Texas, so I guess that makes sense. Third match on the show is Goldust Stardust versus the Uso brothers for the tag titles. A match that I think we've seen at least 5 or 6 times over the last couple of months, probably more than that.
Within probably the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, you know, and you know they're going to have another match tomorrow on Raw. I guarantee it. Same match.
I mean, they definitely will. I mean, unless, I don't know what they're waiting for, but Ascension needs to come up now because it's getting old. There's no teams, man, and for a while I was like, all right, they've got a lot of teams. They've got no one now. Like, there's no teams anymore. I mean, where are the Wyatts? You know, where are they? You know, they're going off on their own now. There's no teams anymore, so I don't know. As much as I like Goldust and Stardust, it's getting stale quick.
It is, really, and those guys, they're not, you know, it seems like they get the writing team, they're interested in the tag division for like 1 or 2 months out of the year. They'll do something cool for a little while, and then it's just like, okay, whatever, we'll do this match again. Here you go, guys. There you go. Go out there. We don't have any reason why you guys are wrestling again or anything. Just go on out there and have another good match.
I mean, that's the thing, though. You know, you got to give them credit. They do well. They're all good at what they do, but it's the same old shit. You know.
It is. Like you were saying, why is the Ascension? Why are they still NXT? You know, they've been there long enough.
And then what they're doing on NXT now, too, is basically like a throwaway, in a sense. Like, I know what it's coming to. They're feuding with Kenta, or whatever his name is now. But, again, I think this is just probably, they're going to finish this feud with him, and that's going to be their way out. And they'll be here anytime, but for who? To do what? You know, it's going to be what? Them versus the Usos for the next, 3 months once they get there? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even when they bring a new team in or a new talent in, it's just like they're instantly watered down because you see them every week, the same match. Mm-hmm. You know, they need a bunch of new people to come in, a bunch of new talent, and freshen it up a little bit. I think, I was talking to some buddies of mine tonight, and I don't know if they've thought about this, but this would be an interesting concept to use those 3 hours for Raw to the benefit of the product. Now, okay, kid-friendly. We all know WWE's kid-friendly. Mm-hmm. Why can they not be, edgy as well, like at the end of Raw? Like,
they should.
Most kids at 10 o'clock under the age of, younger kids, I guess, under the age of 13, 14 years old, should be asleep. You can make the last hour of Raw more of a, attitude era, just, every once in a while, throw some foul language in there, something. Make it a little bit more for the grown-ups, and maybe you could have all the hokey bullshit in the first hour, 8 o'clock, and a little bit of a mix of the two in the second hour,
No, I totally agree. I think, remember back in the day where they would, they had, the 2 shows? Remember it was, Raw is War, and then, Warzone would, kick in, halfway through? Something like that. And you could even, the rating can change, so if parents don't want their kids to watch it, then you know what, they've already seen 2 hours of Raw, which is plenty for anybody. And and then the other aspect of it is, if you don't like all that bullshit with the kid stuff, then you know what, you turn it on at 9, and hopefully that shit's out of the way. There was a point where I can remember I was watching it one night with my uncle, and it was it was 10:15, and Santino's walking out there, and it's like, why is he on now? Why is he on now? Doing his his kid friendly crap. But yeah, no, I think that's a Great idea.
Yeah, I don't know if they've really discussed that. I think that would be something, you could fit all the bullshit, which, man, most of it is bullshit nowadays. I don't know, like some of the, like they have the El Matadores and the, Slater Gator, whatever the hell they are, do their stuff, do, I don't know, some John Cena speech. I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
mix it up.
Yeah, they could do like a Cena promo and some stuff there. Yeah, of course. Then Usos will come out and do their thing, and even Stardust and Goldust. I mean, you can get all that stuff out of the way. Sure.
Yeah. Now, I think that would be. I would be interested in seeing how they did that, and actually differentiate the show in a way. Like the 8 o'clock is for the younger audience, 10 o'clock, maybe even. Do some. I know they're not going to do like legit chair shots or anything like that, but do some more, ECW type stuff. Make it interesting because we had 2 Hell in a Cell matches tonight. You remember when Hell in a Cell matches they actually had blood?
I actually brought that up today. I said, what would have happened when this was Shawn Michaels and Undertaker? Shawn Michaels' face was, covered in blood that first Hell in the Cell match, and everything after was the same way. Now you've got Dean Ambrose trying to stab Seth in the eye with a screwdriver, and I was like, they're not even going to show blood for this. So, I mean, yeah. It's changed.
That's crazy, too. I mean, back in the day when they had a cage match, it was kind of a foregone conclusion.
Oh, yeah.
There was going to be some blood.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one particular Hell in a match, which for some reason nobody ever references anymore. I can't remember what pay-per-view it was on, but it was like, I'm wanting to say it was it might not have been Backlash, might have been Unforgiven or something like that, where it was a Hell in a Cell with Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Do you remember that match? How bloody that match was?
Yeah, no, I definitely remember that. I'm trying to think.
I've got it over here somewhere.
Was it their first? I don't know if it was their first match together, but no, I do remember that. I remember Paul Heyman being out there.
I think Paul Heyman even bloodied himself in that match.
Yeah, I do remember that. I can just remember seeing Taker laying on the outside of the ring against the cage, like with a face full of blood.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the best matches that nobody talks about anymore. Like, I went back and watched that not too long ago, and
check it out again.
Yeah, definitely one of the more underrated Hell in a Cell matches, and I guess I can understand why they don't really show it anymore on TV or talk about it or anything. But it's a damn good match. But I mean, Hell in a Cell match, like we were saying, I think that they should throw some stuff out there to differentiate it and make it more. I mean, there should be a reason they should make the cell part of the match, and you don't really see that anymore in these matches.
They tried tonight a little, but again, it could have been a lot more.
Yeah, I saw a couple things actually on the cell. Like they had a Hell in a Cell sign that was right above the cell.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never seen that before. I was guessing that Rollins and Ambrose are going to bring that into play at some point. Maybe
hang from it or something.
Yeah, but we never saw that. And also there was like a chain going all the way around the middle of the cell too. Like I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't notice.
I was thinking, well, they're probably going to do something with that too because I've never seen that before. But none of that stuff was brought. I mean, that was kind of disappointing. But I guess continuing on, they stuck the Cena Orton Hell in a Cell match, which is for the title shot. I'm guessing it's Survivor Series.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, why are we seeing this again?
John Cena, of course, won. Attitude adjustment through the table. The guys had a good match. I thought it was a really good match. Those guys always work well together. But why should we care really about it?
Yeah, it was a good match, but it's again. I was talking to people here, and people would get, I was getting bored with it. Just not that it was bad, but it's like, what more can these guys do at this point? What more can they do to impress me now? Like, I was looking at something, and in I think it was 2002 or something. It was a OVW main event special, and it was Cena versus Orton, like in 2002, before they even got brought up to the WWE, and you're like, that was like, what, 12 years ago, and we're still dealing with this now. Like, it's still happening now. I mean, good for those two guys, but at the same time, it's like it's so stale at this point. So, I mean, yeah, they put on a good match, but the sell was needless for that match. Needless. They didn't do anything.
It really was. Yeah, I mean, what point did the sell? I can't remember a spot, to be honest.
I don't think there was any. It should have been a tables match, if anything.
Yeah, they brought out some tables, and Cena did the AA on Orton for the pin, and that was pretty much it. But yeah. I mean, like I was saying, those guys always have good matches. But like, I agree with you. It's at the point now where, who knows? I mean, I'm not shitting you. They've probably had hundreds of matches.
Oh yeah, of course. And we've probably seen pay-per-view wise. I bet there's probably almost 20 on pay-per-views.
Yeah, at least I'd love to go back maybe and look up exactly how many pay-per-view matches they've had, because they've had quite a few.
Yeah.
Both guys have been there.
Come out on top on this one. I mean, Brock versus Orton, as weird as that sounds, it would have been interesting because I've never seen it. So I would have been interested with that.
Yeah, it would definitely be. It would be something, to see. Be something different, because Cena and I mean, we've seen this would be the third match just in the last 3 or 4 months that these guys have had. So what? I don't know. I mean, maybe to them, Cena and Lesnar is more of a main event match or something. I don't know, but I mean, it's like they're hurting for baby faces big time.
Yeah, I actually heard that. I mean, I'm assuming that their match is going to be at Survivor Series, but I actually heard that they were going to do that they might go back to the teams again this year, which would be amazing if the whole pay-per-view was those 4-man teams or 5-man teams. I mean, dude, Survivor Series used to be one of my favorite events besides Royal Rumble as a kid, just due to see like how the teams, who was the team leaders, who was on those teams. Each team had a team name. I love that stuff, and it's sad that they have that pay-per-view Survivor Series and you get one of those matches maybe a year. So I hope they do go back to a full pay-per-view with that. It'll keep it interesting.
I'd be very surprised, though. I mean, maybe a couple matches they'd do that, but I couldn't see them doing the. I mean, they got to have a title match on there.
Oh no, they'll probably do the title match, but it would be nice to see. I don't know, just to change up the whole. Oh, it felt like another Raw. I would love for the whole pay-per-view to have 4-on-4 matches, and then have a title match at the end, and then just have like survivors. I don't know what they would do with them, but it's. I love those type of matches, and they stopped doing that a long time ago.
Well, the thing that I love the most about it too is they would have, like the early Survivor Series, like the first couple of years, they would have like all the tag teams would have like a match, and you'd have like freaking 20 people out there around the ring.
Oh, is that the one they went around the ring like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They were the tag team ones that they had like 5. They don't have that many tag teams now, but I always remember that. And the promos they do with the teams too. Like, I always liked that.
I love that too. That was awesome with all 4 or 5 guys back there, and they all had a little part of the promo and stuff. Like, they all had those cool names, like the Warriors, and it was like Warrior, Texas Tornado, and Road Warriors or whatever it was, and then you had like the Vipers, which was like, I don't know, Jake Roberts' team or something like that. Right. Yeah, I loved all that stuff.
I think they. For some reason, at some point in time in the mid-'90s, they just decided to make it just a regular pay-per-view. And now, I guess they're trying to make every pay-per-view have a gimmick. So, as bad as the gimmick is, I mean, like tonight, the Hell in a Cell doesn't really... But, I mean, Survivor Series, maybe that's something they can do to make that stand out a little more,
No, I agree. I mean, they should, because... Again, it at the very least, won't feel like a Raw. If 5 of their 6 matches are team matches, and you'd be able to get a lot of guys on the card, that maybe wouldn't get on the card otherwise. It'd be interesting to see, who's teamed with who, and maybe new alliances will be formed and kind of reset things for a little while.
Right. Continuing on though with this show, and we'll talk about Survivor Series. I don't know when the date is for Survivor Series, but I wish they would do it on Thanksgiving. Man, that would be cool. That'd make it a little more special. But I guess they're scared nobody'd watch. So something else I always love too. Of course, we're going off on. You remember when they should do this shit on the network though? Do you remember when they had it was Survivor Series Showdown? And they'd have the March WrestleMania and all those little 1 hour specials.
Yeah, was it kind of like almost like a Saturday Night's Main Event thing, sort of? Or
yeah,
no?
They'd have it'd be almost like a Saturday Night's Main Event. They would have one big match, and the rest would be with some of the talent from, I don't know, they would kind of hype up the pay-per-view with it. I think they should do stuff like that. I mean,
the problem is because they have Raw, it's like we see that shit all the time that it's like, what do you do? If you had, let's say, for instance, like I said, maybe they built up Cesaro, had him feuding with Brock, and then maybe at Survivor Series Showdown or, Road to Royal Rumble or whatever kind of event they did, maybe have either something in the ring where they do, or maybe have them in a tag match against each other and they each had a partner, but not get them in one-on-one, but kind of tease it a little bit for the people to kind of get interest in it so they'd buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Or at least watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got so much programming on the network, you could almost come up with something, just set up a camera at a house show and do something,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
have
they
somebody in the green room or whatever, and hype it up. Just do a little special. I think it'd be cool, at least to do it for the big, 4 pay-per-views.
Right. I mean, for people who want if everything is to get people to subscribe, honestly, they don't do enough, stuff on that network that's only on that network to get people to subscribe. There's not enough at all.
No. And honestly, nothing really happens on the pay-per-views either. I mean, that's one thing that they need to really work on, because all the big surprises and stuff, that happens on Raw. I guess they want the ratings, but at the same time, man, if you're wanting people to subscribe to this network, it's got to be, you've got to put it in their mind, I have to own it. Mm-hmm. I have to, because for me, honestly, and a lot of people didn't know this, one of my credit cards expired back in September, right after the last pay-per-view. So I was like, I could really do without it until the next pay-per-view. So I didn't resub until just last night.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny you said that because mine expired. My credit card expired probably 3 months ago, and all of a sudden I tried to turn on the network one day and it didn't work. I was like, what the heck? And coming to find out is because they couldn't charge me my resubscription for my new 6 months or whatever it was. And I ended up signing back up. But, that's another way that they're probably losing people. And I think their structure on how they're doing it, you shouldn't have to sign back up every 6 months. I think that it should be one of those things where it's like a 6-month commitment, and then you're charged every month after that, but you can cancel anytime once the 6 months is over. Because you know how many people they probably lose by just saying, "Oh, your 6 months is up. Do you want to come back?" And people will be like, I'm too lazy to just re-sign up." It should just go until that person says, "Hey, wait, my 6 months is up. Don't charge me anymore."
Well, something else that a buddy of mine brought up, that I know TiVo, back when it was popular, they did it. I don't know if WWE would be able to do it. But they should have something like some sort of lifetime buy on there. If you spend, I don't know what it would be, $400 or something like that, you could have it forever and never get it turned off. Would you think that they would just be like, no, we wouldn't get enough money? To me, $400, and there's diehard wrestling fans that would pay that flat out. Do you think that was something they would ever consider? Just a flat fee and you have it forever.
I mean, I'd probably say they wouldn't consider it because they probably wouldn't think they'd make their money back. But I mean, the only way I see it is if they did do it, they'd probably be even more lazy than they are now when it comes to bringing up important content on it, because they're looking to get new people all the time. But no, I don't know. I mean, it's an idea for sure, to save money and get people locked in. For instance, like, again, what I was talking about before, I had probably like 6 people at my house tonight, and every single one of those people had the network and did not renew, except me. That was it.
Wow.
And it's like, that what made me think about, like, shit, man, like, why? To me, I think it's steal of a money for sure.
It really is, yeah.
None of my friends were like, well, we'll just come here and watch the pay-per-views. Like, because guess what? There's nothing on there for them that they care that much about that they want to see. Even though I'm telling them, like, dude, you got to see NXT, you got to see, this. Even that DX documentary thing they just did the other day was great if you watched it.
Yeah, like you were saying, though, I don't know if there is, we were talking about this months ago on the show. Netflix, it's for all different types of people.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's a broad spectrum of followers. People that like TV shows, people that like drama movies, comedies, romance, horror. With WWE, it's just a small niche group. And I think in the long run, here in a couple years, everybody else is going to catch back up and realize, because we've seen HBO's doing their own service, CBS is doing their own thing. This is the way it's all going eventually. But right now, at this point, I don't think there's enough people that, for one, are willing to pay $10 a month and barely, like, Netflix, man. I mean, as much as I love movies, I don't subscribe to Netflix.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't have it. All my friends do. All those people that don't have, W Network anymore all have Netflix, and I don't have Netflix.
Yeah, and look at how many movies that we have and how much we love movies in general, right? And neither of us are willing to buy Netflix. So, I mean, look at it from, their perspective. Right? I mean, I don't know what else they can do to get more subscribers to that network, because they're doing, holy shit, I mean, you've got years and years worth of Monday Night Raw on there. Years, almost, well, they've got at least half of all the Nitros on there by now, or close.
They got they got like a couple of years of Nitro on there. I've had it since the beginning, and I'm still overwhelmed with it. And I've got videotapes and DVDs back there of tapes I taped when I was a kid, and I have access to a lot of these pay-per-views, and I still am overwhelmed by the amount of content on the network, and I don't even know when I'm ever going to watch it all. So, for me, someone who's seen a lot, and I'm sure you feel the same way, I'm surprised that people that haven't seen all that stuff aren't interested in it. And again, bringing up the point, like you said about Monday Night Raw, maybe gearing some of it towards that adult crowd might bring back some of those Attitude Era fans. Those are the people now that have money, because at the time when Attitude came out, we were all teenagers. Now we can pay $9.99 by ourselves, and try to get those people back by doing some more adult-related stuff, getting them to tune into Raw, then sparking up some network stuff about the Attitude Era or things that they might want to come back and see, where, it's tough now because they might have, I don't know how many people watch Raw every week, but if everybody, all those people subscribed, they'd probably be where they need to be. But, you're going to look at a lot of those people are probably kids that would have to, ask their parents to get the network. And I'm going to tell you right now, I remember asking my mother hundreds of times if I could call that 1-800 hotline, and she never let me do it. So again, it might be the same thing, for kids nowadays when they say, "Mom, can I have the network?" And she's like, "No," because they're going to be the ones paying for it. So maybe they should go after those people like us that are a little older now that may want to reminisce on what we watched, as kids. Because I feel that, look at the numbers, man. The people that watched Attitude Era stuff are still not watching, more or less.
Wow.
So how do you get that audience back? You know, that's really what they got to figure out.
I don't even know if they can get that audience back at this point, really. I mean, it's because nobody from that era is really there anymore, you know, and that it's just such a different product now. I don't know, man. It'd be tough.
But they've got to invest. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's tough to say because my favorite era was like early 90s. Like, I like that personally better than I like Attitude Era. I don't know if it was the age I was when that was around, but I would rather watch, you know, WrestleMania 6, 7, you know, WrestleMania 5. I'd rather watch those than the Attitude Era WrestleManias and pay-per-views. But, you know, I feel that those people, the wrestling now, like NXT and stuff, is far greater than all that era that we had. The wrestling portion of it. You know, the Attitude Era wasn't great wrestling. It was great characters and stories, which they can do now. But now they just have better talent to do it with. But they're lazy.
Yeah, I think Jericho was talking about on one of his podcasts or interviews or something that most of the stuff in the Attitude Era, looking back at it, I mean, yeah, they had some cool stuff, but most of that stuff was pretty shitty as well. Like, they had a lot of bullshit going on with Val Venus and you know, a lot of stupid shit with the hardcore title and stuff like that people doesn't really remember that part. But if you go back and watch some of those old shows now, I mean, they had some bullshit in those shows too. But I think that the main event, you know, storylines and feuds and stuff like that, and even a lot of the Intercontinental feuds, people really remember that, and that's really memorable, entertaining stuff that that people often like reminisce, talk about, you know.
Yeah, it's because they had good characters and good stories. I mean, there was a pay-per-view where Los Boricuas were teamed with DX against somebody in the main event. Like, really? Like, that was Los Boricuas were your main event of a pay-per-view? And, you know, that wrestling sucked, but I think it was the story and the characters that just made it work.
Yeah. Well, and they did a lot of stuff too, you know, because I always thought that WWF at the time, it was before the ratings took notice. I thought that show, that Raw, was consistently a better show for probably about a year before the ratings turned around. You know, they were doing stuff, the stuff they did with DX and you know, the Canadian fans and the Bret Hart and all that stuff. Like, I could really tell at that point that things were changing. You know, I think that was right when the Attitude stuff kind of started a little bit, you know.
Right.
And it just takes time sometimes, you know. And I think now with WWE, if something doesn't instantly work, they just kind of throw it to the wayside, man. And they don't. I don't know. I mean, it's just a different thing now. They want instant gratification, and I don't think that you can't expect that, you know.
Right. But again, at the same time, when they kind of do get some of those people that instantly get over, they tease it, like a Cesaro. Like, Cesaro can get over on his own like that. But again, they tease it and then they pull it away. So it's like they want that instant gratification, but when they have someone that can do it, like a Daniel Bryan or a Cesaro, it's like they don't roll with it sometimes. Has
to be their idea.
Right, and that sucks because it's like, you know, that it just sucks because I feel like they're doing a lot of the work for the writers and for the WWE creative, and just let it go. Work on other guys. You know, add stories to other guys. You have Attitude Era and Godfather was being cheered like a main eventer because people put time into his character. I mean, you had that Mark Henry thing where him and China were getting together. Like, I mean, those were all secondary stories that people were working on. Now it's like you have two stories in the show. One of them is probably the Bellas, and the other one's the main event. And it's like everybody else is just reruns of the same shit for no reason.
Yeah, so, the same matches.
I don't know, but whoever's running NXT does pretty good with the stories, and I'm surprised that they're not just doing Raw.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I'd love to know, I'm guessing it is Triple H's show.
Yeah, which is making me think that when Raw's his show, it might get better because maybe his vision's a little bit different, but we'll see.
I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. But
Yep.
continuing on with this show, unfortunately, we got to. I think the next segment after we mentioned, Cena. Guess it's going to be Cena and Lesnar again at Survivor Series. I don't know who wants to see that again, but it is what it is. I think it's a waste for Brock Lesnar. Really, I mean, they needed to be doing some interesting things with him. And I'm one to think that maybe you might get a Money in the Bank cash in at this show or something. Maybe something will happen like that at Survivor Series. Maybe if Cena wins, which I would, man, like I hate to say this, but I think Cena, like the third time, I don't think Cena's going to lose to Lesnar 3 times.
I mean, but where does this go? Does it go Cena to Rollins, back to Brock, then there's Mania? I mean, Brock has to be at Mania. He has to be.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the idea. I just, what else could happen that would cost Cena the match, though? That's what's going to happen. Lesnar's not going to beat him clean. What could they do?
I mean, is there another feud that they want to set up? I mean, I know they're saying they want to set up Rusev, but is it too early? I think it's too early for that now.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. Anyway, on from that match. Big Show and Mark Henry had a backstage segment. And, they were teasing, like, I thought all along they were going to have, like, a turn.
I did too, man.
But they have yet to do that. Big Show, though, like, I saw this and I was like, wow, that's kind of racist, I guess. He said something about, like, he's going to beat Rusev. Yeah. He's going to beat Rusev and take Mark Henry back to Silsbee, Texas for some good barbecue.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of chuckled a little bit because of, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He knows where Mark wants to go, I guess.
You want to go get some barbecue, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That's why Henry should have turned on him right there. You're racist.
Yeah. So, yeah. After that, Sheamus versus Miz for the U.S. title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, like, my buddies were talking about this, too. We were talking about this the whole night.
Did I lose you? Oh, I think we lost Wes. All right, CK's out. It's just me. So we're talking about Sheamus and Miz. So the best part of this match was Mizdow. Absolutely. Best part of the match. Sheamus, I don't know what they need to do with him. He needs to make a heel turn or something because he is not getting over at all. Nope.
I have no clue what happened. And evidently Garrett is missing in action too. So, no, he's back.
Hello?
Did it kick us off? What was... I don't understand. I don't know.
You know what I think it was? I think Freddie screwed us all up. That's what I think happened. Because all of a sudden my computer went off. He sent me like a Facebook message, and all of a sudden then you were gone, and then I was like frozen. So I think he must have screwed it up. Was your Facebook up or anything? Or did you Messenger?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of shit.
Oh, I thought maybe that was it. As soon as he messaged, my thing popped up, and then everything froze.
Damn it.
Oh, well, Piz? Is he here?
Who?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. Business is about to pick up.
He's coming to save the day. We just got kicked off. We just had...
Yo, man, I heard y'all was having... I saw that y'all was having some technical difficulties, so I decided I'd jump in here and straighten shit out.
All right,
that's
good.
what I do.
He's big.
So, you know, that's just how we living, baby. So
look what this pay-per-view did to you, man. God.
I know. I'm smoking. I know, man. It's just party time around here now. You know.
There's something else in there besides tobacco, I bet, too.
Oh God.
That's what it is.
Yeah. It's whatever. It's whatever creative is smoking at WWE these days.
Well, you came just in time. We're talking about your favorite match on the card right now.
Oh God, which one is that?
Sheamus and Miz. That was your favorite tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, we were just getting ready to talk about that.
Go right ahead, man. Don't let me stop you.
I was basically just saying Sheamus needs something. He needs...
Yep.
He's about the goofiest guy they've got. Seriously, like all the YMCA bullshit they were doing at the end of that match.
Whoa, that's going to be on
shit.
That needs to be on hour 1 of Raw, right there, Sheamus.
Yeah, the G-rated hour. That way we can just avoid that altogether.
Yeah, him with that title needs to go. That's a waste. A waste to have that title, and he needs a heel turn quick because he's lost everything he's had.
I don't understand why Sheamus. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hear he's Triple H's boy, but I mean, clearly he must be at the, you know, I mean, for real, because Sheamus is just boring. Sheamus in the ring is boring. He doesn't sell. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I guess if you looked at, like, I don't know. I mean, is he even that high up of a guy that they feel comfortable putting a belt on him? That he can, like, carry it and make it legit? Because I don't get that.
You got to remember what they did with Mark Henry a couple years ago. You know, Mark Henry was just kind of an opening card, just fun-loving, jolly dude, and suddenly he just become a total badass overnight. And they could do that. They could totally do that. But you got to do it the right way. You know, you got to have him come in there and just beat the ever-loving shit out of whoever, everybody or something. You know, he needs that. What he had, I guess, when he first came in, that just crazy, just I want to kick your ass mentality, but he definitely is far from it right now.
Well, which he did have. He did have that mentality. If you go back and watch some of those pay-per-views that he was main eventing with Cena and Orton and all them, I mean, and Triple H, he was badass when he first came out, and he's lost all that.
Well, he was one of those guys who came out. He was badass. They put the belt on him within like the first 6 months, and then if you remember, shortly thereafter, I mean, he was getting clowned by Hornswoggle. So I mean, he went from top to if you're getting clowned by Hornswoggle, you know, you've pissed somebody off.
Yeah, they made him a bitch pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, even... You remember he had that feud with Triple H at WrestleMania? Did he not beat Triple H at WrestleMania or something?
I think he did. I don't know. I just remember him kind of getting. I almost feel like he got the last laugh kind of deal out of that feud, but I don't remember when or where it was.
Well, then when Triple H, you remember when he finally came back from that injury or something? Like, he just beat the fuck out of Sheamus. It was like an afterthought, like, because they needed to wrap up, I guess. Because the story was, I think he injured Triple H and took him out or something, and they just forgot about that.
Like up on the rampway, remember? Like he hit him or something or whatever.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
And then Sheamus won that King of the Ring, remember? And he came out with like those little
oh my god, yeah.
Or whatever. It was like the stupidest thing. I think that's where he kind of was ruined.
That was
holy shit.
That's what I was going to mention. Yeah, I was going to mention with his King of the Ring run when he had the horn, like it was some kind of weird crown with like horns and the scepter. And it was like green. Wasn't he decked out in like green? He looked like it was green and brown, like earth tones, like he was freaking in Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah, that's what he looked like. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what they were going
for. But yeah, he needs a revamp. The star of that show was Sandow. Was the star of that match.
What I've been noticing is like Sandow, whenever they have these throwaway matches with Miz and Sheamus, people could care less about what's going on in the ring. They're like cheering and chanting Sandow.
Right. They definitely are. They are, but then it's like if WWE sees that and they say, okay, well, let's break these two up, I don't think it's going to have the same effect. I don't think Sandow's going to be a hot character because I think people just like what he's doing now. But once that's gone, what do you have with him at that point? I mean, he's not a bad wrestler, but I just don't know what differentiates him now than it did 6 months ago when he was by himself.
I think, honestly, I think it's the wrestling. A lot of wrestling fans are smart. And they know when somebody's getting buried, and they know when somebody's getting the shaft. And, I mean, very few people have gotten the shaft more than Damien Sandow. So I think that's part of it. And I think part of it, too, is nobody cares about Miz or Sheamus. And Sandow's doing the funny, mimicky thing, and that's gotten over. If they're smart, I mean, they could maybe turn him babyface and do something with him. Or they could go, oh, wow, this guy's getting over more than Miz and Sheamus. Let's take him off TV, or let's, I don't know, let's squash him and then get rid of him for a while. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I see it going down something like, I don't know, maybe Sandow somehow pins someone like Sheamus. Maybe the ref thinks it's Miz, but it's Sandow, runs in, pins him, gets the title, and then Miz like, oh, give me that belt, and he's like, no, it's mine, and they fight over that for a while, and then they break them up. But again, I don't know what you do with them at that point.
I just wonder where all this Mizdow, like, you remember he was dressing up like so and so every week, whoever. Where did the hell did that come from? It never did go anywhere either. No. Now they're doing the whole stunt double thing.
Yeah, I don't know where that.
Like, there's so much stuff that just. You see, they never go anywhere with any of it, and they usually just it stops for no reason, and like you wonder what happened. Where was that going to go? Was it ever going to go anywhere?
Right. Well, that's the problem when they book on the fly now. Like they need to book backwards. I feel like, and I don't feel like they do that a lot of the times. Like book backwards, like have an end game and then figure out the steps to get there. I think now it's like there's no end game. Like case in point. What was the point of Cesaro winning that trophy just to smash it the next night, just to go with Paul Heyman? And, like, where was the end story there? Like, where was that going? Because it didn't go anywhere. It was a waste of 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, they never did anything with, and still haven't done anything.
Yeah, he's somebody, I mean, again, I mean, who did he piss off? I mean, he must have walked backstage after that invitation, that Andre the Giant thing, and been like, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he must have pissed off Michael P.S. Hayes or something, because, I mean, he's just been destroyed.
Did he go back there and say, I'm better than Andre? Is that what he did? Is he?
He may have, maybe he did. I mean, who knows? He's pissed somebody off, big time. Yeah. He's pissed somebody off. he like got in William Regal's face or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, I haven't heard. Like, I would love to know. Like, anybody in the know, I would love to know what the deal is, because something's going on. I think it's something more than just Vince doesn't like him. I mean, there's got to be something that he did.
You know what's funny though? Like, every time they use like those, you know, these little commercials, like advertising things, they always show him there. Like, there was one commercial tonight. I don't know what it was about, but they showed him in like a limo with like the suit on, and he looked so badass. And I'm like, you know, he's really nothing. Why is he in these commercials with people like Cena and all this stuff? So I don't know. I don't know if there is something there, but somebody's not pulling the trigger. I don't know.
Well, we have another edition. What's going on, brother? Haven't had you on the show in a little bit. How you doing?
Yeah, okay. It's been a bad night. So.
Bad paper. Overall.
Freddie got RKO'd out of nowhere, and he just now came to. So.
Good.
But
you RKO'd out of nowhere.
Yeah, continuing on though with the show. Let's see what was next on here. Let me get my notes. There was an awesome backstage segment with Brie and Nikki Bella.
Oh.
We saw Brie, she was leaving, and Nikki come there and was like, "Hey, have you made my dinner reservations? Have you got my smoothie with 4 blueberries, 5 strawberries, and some peach or whatever? I don't know." And it ended in the smoothie being poured on Brie, and yeah, that's just what we have to look forward to on Monday Night Raw for the next month.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of shit.
Awesome.
Definitely reminds me of WCW back in the day. Exactly something like they'd do.
Yep.
You remember when they had Hacksaw Jim Duggan was like the janitor or something like that?
Yeah. Yep. And then he went to like the Canadian Duggan or whatever.
Yeah. Just like that, but probably even worse.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Big Show Rusev match was next, and I don't think anybody expected Big Show to win this, but where do they go with Rusev now exactly? I mean, where do you guys think? Because Cena, I think the Cena thing's eventually, that's the big WrestleMania match probably. I don't know how big it'll be, but where do you go now with Rusev? Who do you put him with, and who does he go to next?
I think Sheamus, because he has the U.S. title. I'm not sure they want to do something with that. So
that's a possibility.
Yeah,
I could see that happening. I could see that being the most god-awful, boring feud. Good God.
I think Freddie's on point with that. It's either they're going to bring this Big Show Henry thing further for a while, maybe go to Sheamus with it. I can tell you what I'd like to happen. I don't care if it happens now. I don't care if he beats Sheamus first or whatever, but a great way to get somebody back into the mix and be credible again is to have Ryback come out and face off against Rusev. I don't care when it happens. I think it should happen because he's junk, and that's the only way to get him back, because he was so popular at one point, and they blew that whole opportunity with him. And to bring him back and just face off with Rusev as a contender would just get him back up top where he needs to be.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I would love to see that personally. Yeah, I would love to see that. Also, I hear Wade Barrett might be coming back soon. So, I mean, I don't think they'll put him with... I mean, that would be a great way to, reintroduce him, I think, is to have him come out there and, bust Rusev's chops.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
just hope that Ryback is back with Axel.
What
was that?
Yeah, we don't need Ryback so back.
No.
No, we don't need Ryback back. No.
I'm betting that's what's going to happen, though. That's who's going to contend for the tag titles next is Rob Axel.
You're probably right.
Because Curtis Axel has been missing in action ever since Ryback's been out. So that tells you something right there. They haven't done anything new with him. So they're just waiting. The rise of Ryback.
They should have vignettes for Axel by himself. doing like those Mr. Perfect type vignettes. I think that's what they should be doing with him right now. But you're probably right. They're lazy. They're just going to come back with Ryback because they're lazy. But they should be reinventing Axel right now.
That's crazy, though. I mean, you're talking about like how quickly Ryback just, he was like up here and just went boom. He was gone. How many blown opportunities have they had, and now they're hurting for babyfaces big time.
Yeah. Well, he's another one of those. He's another one of those guys they put. He became a John Cena friend, and then he's done. Big E, John Cena friend, done. I mean, when I first started seeing Dean Ambrose and John Cena like standing in the ring together, I was like, oh, I saw his tombstone like rise out of the ground, the Dean Ambrose tombstone.
Right.
So I mean, that's whoever they put in the ring with Cena, like Cena's buddy, they are done, gone.
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder, gone.
Perfect
Yep.
example.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it seems like too that like anybody that either turns on Cena or has like their first big feud with Cena, they're also done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the worst thing they could have did with Ryback was have him turn heel against Cena. They should have went into that match as a face-face match, and it would have probably been a lot better of an outcome than a I need to have a heel Ryback turn. That's where I think they screwed him up.
And not just a heel turn, they made him the wussiest, weakest, pansy-ass heel you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
I mean, as heels go, he was oh my God. I mean, they should have just brought him out in panties, in a bra. I mean, he was the pansiest heel I'd ever seen in my life.
How do you go from like, I'm not afraid of anybody, I'll fight 3 guys at once, I'm unstoppable, to being scared of everybody in like a week's time? I don't understand.
Maybe he pissed somebody off.
I think he pissed. Didn't they say that he pissed Punk off or something at one point? But he did okay for put in the position he was put in. I feel like he didn't drop the ball completely. His matches were decent. That he had at the main event level. He was fighting
Right.
Punk. He was against Cena, but he had that other one I think with Shield. He had it was like him and Daniel Bryan. And
I think a lot of the guys didn't really respect him too, because like you said, he's not really that good in the ring. But let's be honest, man, Bill Goldberg wasn't that good in the ring either.
Right.
They used him to the best of his ability, what he could do. They showcased what he could do, and they totally fucked up with Ryback. They did, and I know a lot of people at the time. I wasn't a big fan of Ryback, but I was like, give him the title. Okay, it's one of those freak things that happens. Who knows how popular he'll be, how long he'll be this damn popular. Take advantage of it. But they never did. So.
I'm surprised, too, because why, this day and age, to get a guy over like that, especially with, like, the kids and stuff, it doesn't happen organically at all. And that kind of worked. And I'm surprised that they just turned their back on that, because he was really over.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying, it's a good idea if he comes back, if they do this, which I don't think they're going to do.
Right.
Just because it would work. I know it would work. Bring him back like the Ryback before. Bring back his music exactly the way it was before, when he was the face, and have him come out there as just a total badass. He's not scared of anybody. But at the end of the day, he does have to lose to Rusev if they want to continue that to Mania with Cena. But,
yeah.
Right. So it would just have to be a way to try to. They would have to go the backwards booking, but to try to figure out how they can make it work, but have him kind of lose.
I think I asked this question last time we did one of these shows. Has it changed at all? I mean, does anybody care about Rusev? Does anybody care about the streak? I mean, really? Does anybody care about the USA versus Russia gimmick?
I don't. I mean, I agree. I don't give a shit.
I agree too. I said that again tonight to my buddies. I said he needs to impregnate or marry Lana now, because as soon as this is done, he's staying and he's gone. So
yes.
He needs to figure that out. If he wants that to work in the long run, he needs to marry her or something, because her career is a lot longer than his is.
Yeah, he's going to be another. He reminds me of what's his name, and there's a reason I can't remember his name, but I can remember Sable, he was Sable's arm candy.
Mark Marrow.
Mark Marrow.
Yes, Mark Marrow. Yes. There's a reason we can't remember I can't remember his name at least, but I can certainly remember Sable and a whole lot of her. So.
Those hand imprints on her tits that time, that was awesome.
Yes. But listen, how funny is it going to be after Rusev's gone and they try and do something with her and she because they're not going to keep the Russian thing forever. And I mean, she's from Florida, so for real from Florida. So isn't it going to be funny when she comes out and she is not trying to speak this Russian English, shut up.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be something like the Kofi Kingston thing is now, where he was originally from Jamaica or whatever, and then they just changed it to New York.
Which is the easy, stupid way out instead of doing like the Attitude Era where somebody will come up to Lana and try to get her like help with her speech and stuff and go through all these little segments and then start some kind of feud, a story with that. But instead they'll just like be like, oh no, she's English now. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's continue on here, guys, because I'm excited about talking. Did we really even talk about the Big Show Rusev match? I guess we didn't, but Rusev won. He got him in the Steiner recliner. That's what I called it tonight.
Oh, if you hear me.
Yeah, bring back some memories. Next match after that, though. AJ Lee versus Paige for the Divas title. Start it up.
It wasn't bad.
This feud needs to end right now.
Oh man, yeah. Let me tell you something else too. Paige is she as good as she is in the ring. They don't really let her show it. She is horrible on the mic. Oh my God, they should never give her any mic time ever.
She'll get better. She's great though.
Haven't those two been feuding like a year and a half? I mean,
yeah.
Seriously though, when Paige gets on the mic, it's like she says a little something, then she's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to say this part." Like it's bad. But I mean, like you're saying, maybe she'll get better. She's only like what, 22,
21 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's got plenty of time. I mean, I don't know. They've feuded for so long. I was hoping they just kept the cage down and just had it the send-off of this feud and just had a... Why couldn't they have had a Hell in the Cell with those two girls to finalize this feud? Cena and Orton didn't use the cage. They can just wrestle in the ring with the cage down. That's it. She would have made it different. I mean, those two girls can go. They need to do more than just a regular match that you'd see on Raw.
Yeah, this whole show just felt like a big episode of Raw, with a good main event. It really did.
Yeah, so many of these kind of filler pay-per-views just feel that way, really.
Yeah, and, like we were saying, they need to do more, and they do this with some of the pay-per-views, like Survivor Series. I think Garrett, mentioned doing the teams, the old school. They need to make it different, make it seem not like Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to do that, though. All right, so let's see. Going to the main event, which a lot of people were going back and forth with what exactly is which match is going to be the main event. I said all along, there's no way that Orton and Cena is going to be the main event again for a pay-per-view. I just don't see how they can do it, really. I mean, and there's not a real story there with them. So Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose was the final match on the show. I was expecting this match to be amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is going to make the whole show. This is going to be and it was fun. It was a good little match, but I don't think it was as good as it could have been. Wasn't even close.
You're right. It was good, but my expectations were a lot higher for sure.
I was really scared for Jamie Noble getting up there on the cage.
I sure as hell wouldn't want to have been up there.
No. But yeah, I mean the match started, I guess, on the top of the cage, and I was like, realizing, like, holy shit, what are they going to do in this match? This is going to be crazy, you know. And it just really, you know, they had one good spot. It was a decent spot. And I don't know if you guys noticed, they had like little planks where the guys could stand on the side of the cage.
Yeah, I saw that.
Kind of dead giveaway what was going to happen, you know.
Safety first.
Yeah. So that was a cool spot. Is it just me though? And I don't know if you guys know. I noticed this the first Hell in a Cell match. That Hell in a Cell is a hell of a lot bigger.
Yeah, it is.
To be.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Mick Foley couldn't survive if he fell off the top of that Hell in a Cell.
No, this one's bigger. Yeah, this one is bigger.
So what did you guys think of the match and the finish? What was that? Some sort of Latin or something that Bray Wyatt was speaking? Like, are they going to go the satanic route? What in the hell's going on there?
I missed it. You'll have to tell me what happened. I've totally missed it.
All right, so it was weird. I thought my cable was like screwed up or whatever. I was kind of pissed. The lights went completely out right before the end of the match, and then you just started hearing like this weird chanting or Latin or something, and a part of me was like, oh god, it's Bray Wyatt. But then a part of me was like, wait, maybe it's somebody totally different. Maybe it's somebody new, because it was such a different. It didn't sound like Bray really, but you know, I was hoping for some huge surprise, and the lights come back on, and it's Bray, you know, by himself, and he just took out Ambrose. I mean, and that was really the finish, and I was kind of disappointed to be honest with you. I felt like when they did the lights off, the chanting, it should have been something a lot bigger and better than just Bray. Which Bray's great, don't get me wrong, but prime opportunity for something to just change things up, and it didn't.
So are they gonna put Ambrose in a feud with Bray Wyatt now?
Yeah, and what else? Did you guys notice like that smoke when there was like a hologram in there?
Right, that's what I was going to mention.
What was that?
I think it was him, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know.
It looked like a ghost or something with like a sheet on, or a woman.
Supposed to be like Sister Abigail or whatever.
That was Sister Abigail.
Yeah, because
new though.
I think they fucked up a little bit or something, because they had the screen was completely like they turned the camera off for it felt like 30, 40 seconds at least.
Yeah.
And then you see the smoke in the ring, and then the little lantern thing which lit up some sort of hologram thing that we can't really tell what it was. Maybe they'll enlighten us on the interwebs. We can figure it out. And then you saw Bray Wyatt. And then it went black again. I don't know if it did for you guys.
Yeah,
the screen went black again.
Yeah.
For no reason.
And then when it came on, he was upside down or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they flubbed a couple things there or something with the direction of the show, if you will.
Well, what's Seth Rollins going to do now?
He's probably going to feud with Randy Orton, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, that's death right there. I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I'm a big Seth Rollins fan, and I've been a fan for his for a long time, and I just feel when he gets put in situations like this, I know he's the heel, and I know his job is to make the face look great, and I know, all he does is take huge bumps, get beat down, but every once in a while, I'd love to see him do some high offense of stuff like he was doing in the Shield, like some crazy flips or this or that, but the WWE is so concerned with him getting cheered that they just don't let him do any of that stuff, which I think, he can still play a heel, but people will cheer out of respect for him as an athlete, and the match would just be so much better if they both were given their share of offense, where his job now is take crazy bumps and make the other guy look great because you're good at it. But there's so much of Seth that we're not seeing, which is making him seem a lot less. Going back to what you said about Ryback, he's like the biggest pussy heel that they have, and it shouldn't be like that.
Well, I actually think me personally, I mean, they've downgraded Rollins. When Rollins was doing all that awesome stuff in the Shield, to take him away from that, and now he's just kind of a cowardly heel. And like you said, he's taking the bumps, and he doesn't seem like a significant contender to me.
Not at all.
And he doesn't seem like somebody who, I don't know. I mean, I could see him being the first person to ever cash in and lose. I kind of take him a lot less seriously now.
Right. Like tonight, I don't know if you saw the main event, but Ambrose was up on the cage. He says, "Come start up here," and then Seth's like, "All right, I'm coming up," and I was like, "All right, cool." He's not pussying around. He's going up there, and then of course he changed his mind and sent the Stooges up there to do the work, and he kind of snuck in from behind. But that's always how it is. How'd he win Money in the Bank? Kane came out and gave it to him. I mean, he's so good that this is bullshit that he's getting this heel pussy downgrade. And what happens if he does cash in and win? He's not going to seem like a credible champion at all. He's going to seem like that little rat that got the title, which he's a lot more than that for sure.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
something needs to change big time with him.
And even if he's in this, and what are they going to do with him and Randy Orton feud? Because I mean, both of them are heels. He's not going to come out in the end looking like, he's not going to be cheered for. The crowd's probably going to cheer for Randy Orton, and that's such a waste. I mean, they may put on decent matches, but the crowd cheering for Randy Orton's a total waste. Them trying to put Randy Orton over as like a face is a total waste. And I don't think even if Seth Rollins beats him, I don't think it does anything for Seth Rollins. Even if he beats him straight up legit, I don't think it does anything for him.
It would give him a little more credibility. I mean, he needs to be that heel that's like, he should have the attitude like he's better than everybody and prove it more than just say it and then run away. Like, he needs to be that guy that will be like, I'll outdo everybody with everything, in everything, and then actually be the guy who does it. Right. But I don't know what they're doing.
There's a spot for the cowardly heel, and it works. But how about just one cowardly heel? Not every heel you got being a cowardly heel.
No, you're exactly right. What do you guys think?
Freddie, go ahead.
I agree because I kind of feel like he's so much better than that. And I think the plan is to turn Orton face for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just sick of the whole authority to begin with. I just think Kane does not belong there. I think Triple H and Stephanie should just be off doing their own thing. I just feel like it's bringing Rollins down when they should really be elevating him and Ambrose and Reigns at the same time. It just feel like they're stagnant in the same spot. There's still Cena and Orton on top, and that's the problem.
It seemed to me as soon as they brought that faction together, I was bored with it from pretty much day one. Like that group of people, you're talking about Kane, Orton, Stephanie, and Triple H. It's just they have done. What can you not do that you've with Kane and Orton that they haven't already done? What can you do? I guess those guys have been there so damn long. And their characters are so, like, everything about those guys are stale. I mean, you could put Kane in a mask, it's still fucking stale.
Right. How about instead of Kane and Orton, you've got Ryback and Cesaro in the Authority.
That's better.
Or I can think of any two guys that would probably fit in better than those two in the Authority.
Right.
I think Cesaro. Sure.
They turn him.
They definitely need though, and they're doing it right with Lesnar as being just a badass. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you heel. They need more guys like that, instead of like you were saying, I'm running, I'm scared, pussy heels. Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, you can
Ryback.
Save Miz for that role. You know what I mean? Like people like that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Ryback could fit that role. Sheamus could fit that role if they turn him. You know, Bray Wyatt could fit that role. I mean, they've got a lot of capable Cesaro. They've got a lot of really capable. And the thing about Cesaro that I do like is that he's a heel, but he's not a wussy heel. No, he's a guy who'll fight anybody. So I mean, at least they've not. I mean, that may be the next step in absolutely destroying him, but I mean, who knows? I mean, at least he's not getting clowned by Hornswoggle.
You know, one of the more interesting things that they've done in the last little bit, and the fans just went ape shit for it, and it wasn't really even a face turn. They just put those two together. Was when they were doing the Swagger and Rusev thing. Mm-hmm. The fans, like, I think if they would be more spontaneous and do something that's less predictable, the fans would just appreciate it, you know. But they don't. What happened
to Swagger? He started getting really over, and now he's not even around anymore.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Was it because he got that popular organically, and the WWE was like, "Oh shit, that's not part of our plan. Let's just get him off."
That's a possibility. That's happened before. I mean, that's definitely happened before.
It's definitely. They can't just say it was Rusev, though, because the other people that they put Rusev with, nobody gives a shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, all that bullshit that happened on Monday with the Iraqi war veteran or something getting kicked. Seriously, nobody gave a fuck about that, really. And you're going to bring a Big Show out there and try to cry in front of nobody cared. They did the most they could with that feud. Nobody gave a shit.
Right. And I mean, Rusev he's a big guy. He's a capable wrestler. He's a good athlete. He could be that, that kind of badass heel. I just think the gimmick they've put him with it's got a shelf life, and I think it expired like a week and a half ago. So the whole streak thing is just so tired. Don't do streaks anymore. Nobody cares about streaks. And once the streak's over, the guy's over, or over and done with, I should say.
Yeah.
Just stop with the streaks.
So, looking forward to Survivor Series, or, well, I don't know if we're looking forward to it, but I mean, what possibly could be happening at Survivor Series? Brock Lesnar and Cena yet again.
Oh, God.
For the title. And Garrett and I were talking earlier, I think that it's just a waste of Brock Lesnar. Put him with somebody else. I would rather see, even though I'm not an Orton fan, I would rather see Orton and Lesnar.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I kind of thought Orton may win, because, I mean, who wants to see Cena and him again for a third time?
Me.
Yeah, I would have much rather seen. I mean, I would have much rather seen Orton and him, honestly.
It's weird because of.
And you made a good point. They've only got so many dates with him. I don't know. Maybe they think it's going to be box office. I don't know.
Survivor Series is in St. Louis next month. I don't know why they not have Orton.
Freddie, we're not hearing you. I'm not hearing you, at least.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you either, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that Survivor Series.
Still not hearing you.
Well, how are they even going to finish that match? Because surely they can't. I mean, Cena's not going to win. And I mean, the way that they finished the second time that they went at it with, like, this DQ. I mean, how are they going to end it the third time around? What can they do?
I have no idea. Don't know.
No, that's why I'm afraid that Cena's going to win. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we were talking about this earlier, and I was like, he's not going to lose a third time. But you wouldn't think.
Right. But I mean, have they abandoned the whole? Because I mean, wasn't he supposed to keep it until Mania, and then wasn't like Reigns supposed to take it, or I mean, have they abandoned?
I don't know if they've abandoned it. I mean, I still think it's going to happen, but again, I don't know how he gets there at this point. It would have been so much easier if you built up Orton because these Vines are pretty popular right now. Get the fans behind Orton a little bit. You know, it's a different match. Orton will lose. Who knows when Brock's next date is? Have Brock, you know, I would have loved to see Cesaro go from now until the Royal Rumble on a hot streak. You know, bring back the whole Paul Heyman thing where, you know, he says that he ruined his career. Have him a huge threat to Brock. Go one-on-one Brock and Cesaro at Rumble just for something new. Let Brock win, and then carry Brock to Rumble. But now you're going back to Cena, and it's either like now where does that go? You know, what happens if he beats Cena? Who's next and why? You know, what's next for him? Because, I mean, April is a long time away, or March, or whenever the hell WrestleMania is. What the hell are they going to do till then?
Yeah.
You know,
imagine the pop it would get if Cesaro put Lesnar in the swing.
I know. It's fucking easy money.
Oh, my God.
Easy money,
yeah,
and then you created a new star right there. One night. Yeah. You can come out tomorrow.
That's all.
And do it.
That's all they need to do. The match could be 5 minutes long. Let Cesaro swing him about 20 times, and then just have him do the F5 or whatever and end the match. And that's all you'd need for Cesaro. That swing, I mean, the roof would blow off the place.
Mm-hmm. And you get instant star, instant main eventer right there.
Let's talk what they're really going to do, though.
It's going to be Cena versus Brock for the next 3 pay-per-views until Mania, and then it's...
I honestly think they're going to bring Batista back, and they're going to have some sort of feud with Lesnar and Batista, and that'll last us up until WrestleMania, whatever they're going to do with him then.
That's possible.
Undertaker, though, is also training at NXT, from what I understand. So something's going to be happening with him. If it was me, I would have Undertaker come back at Royal Rumble and have that match at Royal Rumble if they're going to do it. I wouldn't bring him back at WrestleMania. I don't know what they're going to do with Undertaker, even if he's going to wrestle again. But if you're going to have a rematch with Lesnar and Undertaker, I would do that at WrestleMania or at Royal Rumble instead of WrestleMania, and just leave Taker off of WrestleMania.
Are we still doing Sting at WrestleMania?
I would like to see that.
Who knows? I think that'd be cool, but who are they going to put him in the ring with?
Taker, I think, but...
Taker, yeah, that was the plan.
Was that the plan, or is that what the fans... Like, I don't know if... Was that ever really a plan, or is that just something that the fans want to see? I mean, I know everybody wants to see it, but...
I think Sting said that's what he wants. So, yeah. I don't know. Sting says that's what he wants, but Undertaker has yet to say yes or something.
And I think that would be that would be an easier match for Taker to do than Lesnar.
Oh yeah,
I think because Lesnar, when he picks you up, I mean, there's a good possibility you're going to fall on your head. So I think if he does more of a pedestrian match with Sting, I mean, it's just going to be cool for just a cool factor of having those two together. And there's no streak, there's no anything like that. It's just the two of them wrestling.
Yeah, and leading up to it doesn't have to be any physicality at all. It can just be, pyros and them staring each other down, and all this cool effects and storytelling just through that stuff. Where, they can lead it up for 3 months and then finally get in the ring, and that's the first time that they ever touch each other.
Yeah, they could do that, but at the same time, they're mentioning that match almost on a weekly basis. At least Paul Heyman is. The fact that the Undertaker lost to Lesnar at Mania. So that I think that if they're going to do anything with Taker, they're going to do a rematch with Lesnar, and I see that definitely happening before a Sting match. I mean, I can't see him having a match with anybody else if it's not Lesnar. Up next, the next match up.
Is he going to beat Lesnar though? And is that going to be even believable? And is that going to drop Lesnar down a lot of pegs that he let this old man beat him?
I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of ways they could end it. I mean, as we know, they could do like some sort of clusterfuck ending or whatever that wouldn't really hurt either guy. So I don't know. I honestly see though, if Taker wrestles again, he's wrestling Lesnar. Like, I don't know when it is, but they're not going to just have him show up and wrestle somebody else. I don't see it happening. Maybe they will, because, you know, who knows what the hell they do nowadays. So, anyway. Any other thoughts? I don't know. Hell, we've been on here for about 2 hours. It's crazy.
Well, this is a side thought here. Maybe you guys had talked about it when I wasn't around, but have you guys talked about what an awful idea it is to break up the Wyatt family?
No, but it is awful. The other two won't amount to much of anything.
No, I don't understand the point, really. Why?
I don't either. I can see who's the one that wears the mask. Is that Rowan or Harper?
Yeah, Rowan.
I can see Rowan going nowhere. I can see Harper maybe going someplace as a singles because he can kind of talk on the mic. I mean, they're both great in the ring, but I don't know.
If they don't even know what to do with a guy like Cesaro and Sheamus, what are you going to do with it?
Exactly. I mean, they're just going to be mid card, the lower card heels, and I don't know.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't go with them as a tag team.
They probably.
Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't win the tag team titles. I mean, they had so many opportunities, and they just.
If anything, to be honest, I would build the Wyatts bigger than what they are now. I would add people to it, new guys we've never seen before, maybe guys from NXT, maybe junk guys that don't have anything going on. You know, think about how Undertaker had the Ministry of Darkness, who he revamped. I mean, if it wasn't for that, Farouk and Bradshaw may have not even had jobs at that point. They went into that Acolytes or Ministry or whatever, and it totally revamped their careers. So to be able to take people now and maybe do something like that in like a Wyatt family, maybe have them grow a beard, just some random, I don't even know who, but some random mid-carders, and you never know, they could go over. You know, I think that I would grow the Wyatts rather than get rid of them or split them up.
Maybe that's what Ryback's doing. They're both growing beards right now.
Axel had a beard, though. Remember? He could be old Wyatt.
Yeah.
So
just let it grow out big and bushy.
I don't even know if Curtis Axel could ever get over with that or anything else.
Well, they could bring Curtis Axel back. Just put the beard on him. Nobody's going to recognize him. Just say this is Bubba Wyatt. That you know.
Bubba Ray Wyatt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't understand the mentality of like, why did they think they needed to break them up, and just do it through vignettes? By the way, there's no other reason they broke up.
Yeah. I mean, those vignettes are kind of cool, but why? Why break them up? I mean, is the tag team division that stacked?
Yeah.
I actually heard they're putting the Ascension with Bray. That's what I heard.
They're going to?
That's what I heard, yeah. That's the plan.
That might not be a bad idea, because if Bray's going to go to that whole semi-satanic route, it could work, actually. You know, that's not a bad idea to bring them in with him.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess.
They need a mouthpiece anyway, so he's perfect for that.
They do. They proved that, I think, last week on NXT.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with the Wyatts and what's going on with him. I honestly think the other two guys, there's not a spot for them really. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for them to. I don't know what they could do singles that would make any sense at all. So I don't see them. I see them either getting repackaged or getting released. Unfortunately.
Yeah. We'll see those two in TNA in about a year as the Wyatt family.
If TNA is around, I don't think they're going to be around after December.
Or we'll see them in Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling as the Jarrett family.
Yeah, our Global Force Wrestling may just be exclusively on the Roku, like the Dead Pit Universe channel.
Wow, nice.
So there you go. Anyway, I guess that's it. I mean, I don't know. Overall, I think the show was a stinker. I didn't really. it's not that it was bad. It was just like everything else that's on TV.
Right.
Like it's just there was nothing special about it. There's no reason, there's nothing must see on the show, and that's why they're not doing well with the network. They need to put more in these shows and these pay-per-views and make them seem like something you can't go without seeing.
Yeah. When I was a kid trying to get my parents to spend $25, $30 on a pay-per-view because I felt like I was going to miss something important if I didn't see it, that's gone now. And now's the time they need to really be doing that.
Yeah. I can barely even convince my mom to keep paying for my WWE Network. It's so bad. I beg her all the time, but she's like, honey, the product is shit. And I'm like, well, it is. But so I gotta beg her.
There's got too much programming going on. That's the problem. It's too much wrestling.
Too much free stuff.
The same matches every night. Every night.
Again, tomorrow night is going to be pretty much probably 3/4 what we saw tonight. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I bet anything the Usos and Goldust and Stardust are wrestling tomorrow.
Miz and Sheamus will wrestle. They'll do something with Rusev and Big Show. I bet Cesaro and Ziggler fight. I mean, it's going to be the same show minus Ambrose and those two.
Hey, if we're lucky, we could see Orton and Cena again.
All right, maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Let's hope so.
That would be fun.
I want to add that to my collection. If they had, they have the new Cena DVD. I think it's out, and it's a rivalry DVD. If they wanted to put all those Cena and Orton matches on there, you'd have to have fucking 15-disc set.
It'd be like the Halloween box set.
Yeah, that's right. Although they should have to pay you to watch that shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me on here. I know the show wasn't much, but it's always fun to talk to buddies about these shows. I think so, at least. I mean, it's kind of therapeutic in a way,
Yeah.
Because you're not the only one enduring the atrocities that the WWE call pay-per-views nowadays. So. Anyway, I thank you guys again, and thanks to everybody that checked the show out. Hopefully in the next couple months, things will pick up. I know around Royal Rumble time definitely is always interesting time of year, and that they start working on the feuds for WrestleMania. So
it's the road to WrestleMania.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. We'll see. I guess Survivor Series here in probably a month or so. I don't even know when the hell it is. So we'll talk to you guys then, and keep checking out the WrestleManiacs Facebook page. I know we don't update anything on there, but I'm gonna start trying. I'm gonna start putting more effort into it.
Let's do it.
All right. See you guys, and have a lovely week upon us. Mondays tomorrow. I'm excited.
See you guys.
Later.
Bye.